Hi there, welcome to another bite-sized encouragement from me, Kathy Mole Ministries page on Facebook. I've been thinking a lot about a word that I shared not too long ago, and it was about coming out of hiding. And that I felt that I heard God say these two words, adjust, adjust. And it wasn't a suggestion, it came as an instruction or a command, that it was time to adjust and prepare myself for the new. And I know that when God says something to me, most of the time it's to share it with other believers. So I want to encourage you today, if you're one of those believers who feel that you're tired of being in this place of hiding. You know, we read in the Old Testament the prophets hid in caves in the mountains because they were hiding away from the enemy. But now you and I, standing in this position today as the called out ones on planet Earth, here to represent the King of Kings, to take the kingdom wherever we go, we've been given a tremendous amount of authority and favor. And so I want you to look at your life today and maybe identify those areas where you feel that you've hidden away. You know the call of God, you know the purpose of God, but you've put it at bay, you've put it on the shelf, and you said, when things get better, when I feel the timing of God, when I get the goosebumps, when I get a confirmation, then I'll step out and do it. But today God is saying, today's your day. And so I want to say to you that there are so many people who have sick hearts. You know Proverbs 13 that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it's a tree of life. And I said this the other day in one of my online sessions, that hope deferred means it's the delay has made us feel disappointed, as if God has forgotten us, and so we actually have sick hearts. And it says, but when the desire comes, it's a tree of life. And I began to think about, what is this? What is the desire? What is it that needs to come? Is it the answer to my prayer? Is it the fulfillment of that promise that's suddenly going to make me feel better and it'll be a tree of life? And this is what I felt God said to me. We can live in a situation with a sick heart where we're always looking at those hopes that turned into disappointments, and we walk around carrying this baggage everywhere we go. But God never changed his mind about the promise. And the enemy keeps us in this place of being disappointed because it took too long. And we think to ourselves, but I prayed, I gave, I did everything I did, I sacrificed, and that thing never happened. I really had faith that that was going to happen. But you know how the desire comes. It's when we get to the place where we recognize, we identify, I did everything I know how to do. I did all the right things. I confessed the word. You know, that's the most disappointed Christian, when they confess and then nothing changes. But the desire comes when we get to the place and we can say, God, I've done all that I can do. I've trusted you. I've stood by faith. I've done all you asked me to do. And now I surrender it to you. I give it to you because I understand that I cannot do this on my own. And I also can't carry this disappointment around anymore. So there comes a place, a time in our lives where we say, God, I'm giving it to you. And it's not that we're giving up. This is the beginning of the process where the tree of life is going to begin to bear fruit in your life and those things that God promised you. So if this morning, if you feel that you've got a sick heart because you're disappointed, because you have regrets, because you've done all you know to do, and you feel as if God has let you down, the enemy's going to play on your emotions. The enemy's going to use those scenarios where you did something and God never came through for you, and he's going to play them like movies in your mind all the time, making your heart just get sicker and sicker, or more sick. And so today, get to the place, sit with God and say, God, I identify these areas where I feel as if I've been hiding in a cave for so long. I don't have the strength to get up anymore. I've been sitting in the wilderness like Elijah, running away from the enemy, sitting under the broom tree and saying, it's enough now, Lord, take my life. I'm no better than my fathers. You know, that's the thinking that the enemy wants you to go in a certain direction, and that's called destruction and hopelessness. And God says, choose life today. So choose life today by taking your disappointments and your regrets and your seeming delays and say, God, here they are. And God is going to be so happy. He's going to pick you up from where you are, and it's going to begin to be like that tree of life. you're going to understand that in a time of preparation, in a time where you felt that you were hiding yourself, that God was getting your roots down deep into the ground, like those trees in winter. We see them in winter and they look as if they've died, but all the life is in the roots. And in your time of hiding and preparation, your roots are being grounded in God and His purposes. And as soon as you surrender those things to God, you begin to see the fruit appear. You begin to get the revelation and the understanding that in every pore of your being, the calling of God is beginning to come out. And the desire to step out and be part of what God is about to do with His church is for you today. So be encouraged with that today. You have a purpose. You're anointed. You're called for such a time as this. It's not a Christian cliche, for such a time as this. We're called. We're anointed. We belong to the kingdom of God. And the kingdom of God is an ever-increasing kingdom. And that is your lot today. That's your destiny today. So be encouraged with that.